we do a lot of data curation. We process millions and millions of data points every month. We are already a refinery, but I won't be proud in saying I am a refinery only. I am very proud in saying I am a product. I am a product building company, AI product building company using Indian workforce.
Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, our guest will be Mr. Sudarsun Santhiappan, sir, who is here with us. He currently holds the position of Chief Scientific Officer at Buddy.ai. He is an institute leader with over 20 years of invaluable experience in leading AI research and development projects for an end-to-end artificially intelligent product development system, software design, and development in assignment and deputations. So first of all, sir, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's our pleasure too. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is AI and consciousness, could it become human? Elon Musk said that AI is likely to overtake human in the next 5 years. He said that artificial intelligence will be vastly smarter than human and would overtake the human race by the year 2025. So my very first question to you is, can artificial intelligence surpass the human brain in its abilities?
Okay, I'll put the question back to you. When was the last time you took a decision yourself?
Sir, actually, it depends upon...
Just think about it. Right? Let's say, see, we have these food delivery apps, right?
Yes.
And let's say there is someone who's trying to order food because they don't want to cook today at home, and they will have some ideas, right? Okay, let's go continental today, or let's go North Indian today, or let's go something, right? They'll have some plans before they open the app. But the moment they open the app, do you think their preferences are still holding good?
No.
Usually, what happens there? So the bias changes completely, right? So you start looking for items which are in your liking, but not your first choice, but they are available for a cheaper price.
Correct.
And most of the times you end up eating something that popped up on the app rather than what you wanted to eat.
Yeah, most probably.
Right? So today, whether we like it or not, or whether we know it or not, decisions are not really taken by human beings most of the times. And you know what? Decision making is the hardest problem for any human being. Right? So there is a saying, I mean, when you have only one choice, there is no decision making. If you have two choices, then it's called a dilemma. And when you have more than two choices, then comes, your ability to take decisions. But when you are given 10,000 choices, what do you usually do?
It's hard.
You don't really take decisions. It's not about hard. It's not doable. It's not done. So what you do is you give up. You give up taking decisions. Then what you end up doing is you look at what others have done. What my friend is opining about it. What is the review rating of these products, or whatever you are considering. So the moment the number of choices go to a larger number, you stop taking decisions and you just look out for someone to come and help you. And directly or indirectly, AI is taking decisions on your behalf already, right? It has become a part of our life, right? So if you ask me, is it good or is it a healthy sign? I would say no. Me being an AI practitioner for the past 2+ decades, and I would not say it is a healthy sign, because humans are forgetting that they can also take decisions. right? Most of the human beings, they have completely forgotten that they can actually take decisions based on information, knowledge, ground truth, right? All these are completely forgotten. Ask a kid today, right? If you ask a kid, are there reptiles with wings? Or let's say, can an elephant lay an egg? Right? If you ask a question, what do you think they do?
Well,
And if Google says no, there is no such thing, they come back and say no, elephants can't lay eggs. Let's say, can you find let's say a gold-plated mobile phone? I'm just making it up, right? And if Google comes back and says it doesn't exist, the kids believe that it doesn't really exist in the world, right? So the concept of gathering knowledge and taking decisions based on knowledge has changed a lot. Today's kids do not know that they can dig information themselves. They do not know that they can take informed decisions themselves. They always leverage internet. And I always wonder what will happen if there is a power outage or internet outage for 1 year continuously. Many of us will go mad, right? Many of us will go mad, especially this generation will go mad, right? So Musk is not wrong. Musk is not saying anything wrong. So AI will take over human beings by a larger margin, but it won't be like how Terminator kind of movies portrayed, right? It would be more natural. That's what I'm thinking. So you will not even realize that you have already become partially artificially intelligent. You will not realize, or I will not realize, that I have already been powered by some extraneous artificially intelligent agent, right? And it is going to be a natural phenomenon. That's what I'm thinking. So singularity, there is a word called AI singularity, and that is definitely happening, but we don't know whether it is happening in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but it is definitely happening. And I'll refer one interesting book. There is a book by Dan Brown called The Origins, right? If when you get a chance, you just read that. It's an amazing book, a good one with respect to AI. It's a good read. So yes, so AI is going to definitely surpass human intelligence, because humans have stopped realizing that they can be supremely intelligent. They have stopped realizing that. So many of the human beings don't think that they can take decisions. They cannot be intelligent. So they always want to leverage any assistive technology. Right now, AI is an assistive technology. Tomorrow, AI will become a part of our life. Whether we like it or not, we will not have a choice, right? But as an AI scientist and as an AI practitioner, my objective has always been not to overpower humans, right? Humans are always the top. I envision it always like that. Humans should always have control over what they live as their own lives, right? An extraneous agent like an AI bot or an AI humanoid cannot control my life. I don't want to be controlled by an AI agent, right? And I'm from a different generation. My mindset is very different. But today's generation, they are okay reporting to an AI machine, AI system. They are okay to share their lives with AI. I think they grew up with it, right? So it's no different. So sooner we will have AI as a part of the human ecosystem, and maybe down the line it will become the human ecosystem. So don't think it to be a bad thing. Don't think that to be a really bad thing which is going to happen. I think it is a natural evolution, I guess. So I think that's how we should understand Elon Musk's statement. It is not a threat.
Indeed,
it's the evolution.
I think you have very beautifully explained by taking some real-time examples. And I'm sure the viewers who are watching this session, they are surely going to find this insightful. And the example which you have taken, I'm sure they are going to connect with it. So my next question to you is, Alan Turing was clearly a man ahead of his time. In 1950, at the dawn of computing, he was already grappling with the question, can machine think? This was at a first time when the first general purpose computer had only just been built. In fact, Turing well understood the need of empirical evidence, proposing what has become known as the Turing Test to determine if a machine was capable of thinking. So, sir, it's a kind of my request to you. Please tell or explain our viewers more about this test, how it is performed, and all.
Yeah, see, Turing test, I think most of the AI bots today will easily win Turing test. It's Turing test, not the Turing test, it's Turing test. So when Turing proposed this test, see, he's the first one, he's the first scientist who said he theorized computers, right? So he's the founder of theoretical computer science. A lot of universities have departments for theoretical computer science, and it's one of the most fanciest department, I would say. Right, awesome things they do there. They do things in thin air, man. Seriously, they just sit down and imagine things, and they will be conceiving a lot of beautiful ideas just by thinking. Amazing tools they have built already. Anyways, so Turing was the first one who theorized computers. I mean, how a computer should be mathematically speaking, right? And he also believed that computers will assist human beings big time, not only for automation. See, computers were invented for doing the donkey work. Like if I'm doing a repetitive task, or if I'm doing a long task, can I automate it using machines? So computers were invented for doing the donkey work. But soon people realized with the available computational capability, can we replicate the human thinking? Again, what is thinking? You'll have to start philosophically question the notion of thinking, right? So thinking, decision making, all are connected. So in my opinion, there are two aspects. One is knowledge, which is gathering information, right? And be cognizant about what is happening, be conscious about what is happening around you, and start collecting all of it as data. The data could be digital, it could be discrete, it could be images, it could be videos, could be audio, anything, you name it, right? Collecting information. And if you can collect information and organize it very well in your mind so that you can query it later, right? That is called knowledge. But knowledge alone is not helpful. You need to know how to put your knowledge to use.
Correct.
This is the definition of intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to translate whatever you know already to something that you are trying to know now. It is the ability to transform that. So usually human intelligence thrives on, connecting the dots. So you know some things, and when you encounter a new thing, you just try to connect the dots between the known knowledge to the new unknown. This is what humans are good at. In fact, all intelligent beings, I mean, I'm including animals also here. In fact, plants also here. So they learn the new setting or new environment based on whatever they have experienced previously. That is how intelligence grows. So intelligence is the ability to put knowledge to use, right? So when you have a mechanism to do the donkey work, which is the computational ability or ability to execute on something, and those machines also had memory. So when Turing proposed the theoretical machine, he had memory as a part of the design, right? The Turing machine, they say, the theoretical equivalent of a computer, it's called a Turing machine that had memory. It was defined as a state machine, but it had memory also in it. So there is a compute unit and there is also a memory unit, right? So when you have memory, so which means you can collect knowledge, and you have computational power, so you can translate the knowledge to actions. This is how computers were perceived to become smarter instead of just being a donkey, right? So Turing said, okay, there is a machine that is possible, and this machine can also theoretically think, collect knowledge, and take actions on the knowledge. So how do we differentiate them? So I am a human being. Back then, those computers were not there. It was just a theoretical idea, right? It was just an idea. I mean, there were computational units, but those were not like, they were only capable of doing donkey work. That's all I wanted to say. Numerical processing units. That is all was found back then. So Turing said these so-called ALUs, arithmetic logic units, can also become smarter. So when they become smarter, how can I differentiate humans to a smart unit, right? That is when he proposed this idea of Turing test. So the simple idea is the following, right? You are supposed to have a conversation with somebody without seeing that person, right? Let's say you are actually, we are seeing each other, right, on the video. But let's say if you are doing this over telephone without seeing each other, and if I have a meaningful conversation with you, and I will get a feeling that I'm talking to a human being because I'm having a meaningful conversation with you. I hope you also have the same experience, right? Because you are having a meaningful conversation with me. And if I don't differentiate, right, if I'm not recognizing that, I might be thinking that I'm speaking to a human being, but the other side could be a machine, right? Other side could be a machine which is coherently speaking with me, right? And if a machine can convince me that I am speaking to a human being, then you say that the machine has passed the Turing test.
That's great.
Right? This is the fundamental idea, but there are more details to it. But this is the fundamental idea. Right? There is a beautiful movie called Ex Machina. EXMACHINA. Ex Machina. It's a beautiful movie based on Turing test. Right? The movie starts with the notion of conducting a Turing test on a humanoid. You should watch that movie. You will definitely love it. It's a beautiful movie, slightly older, probably 10 years older, but state of art back then. Ex Machina, right? So Turing test was relevant probably 10-15 years back. Today, most of the chatbots will clearly win Turing machines. Turing test, I mean. You know why? It is, see, when you pass the test, it is actually a double-ended sword. Right? I'll tell you how. Let's say if I am a human being, I'm talking to another party, another person, and if that person is a machine, right? And the decision of that so-called machine passing the Turing test or not is in my purview, right?
Right.
So it becomes relative.
Correct.
So if I am smarter than the machine, then I'll figure out that it is a machine. But let's say if I'm dumber than the machine, then I will always say that I always think that I'm speaking with a machine. So that's why I said most of the human beings have forgotten that they are intelligent beings. So if they conduct the Turing test, they are going to give a green sheet to most of the machines. So that's why I say Turing test is no longer relevant, is no longer the accurate way of measuring if a machine has reached human intellect or not. See, in my opinion, intelligence or intelligent beings, the notion of intelligent beings is relative. See, I might appear intelligent to somebody, right? I may also appear dumb to somebody else. Isn't it? So it's always relative. So we always look at others based on what we know already. So you cannot measure somebody based on one person's opinion. If one person says, this individual is very smart, you cannot accept that as the final judgment. You may probably have to take opinion from multiple people, and hopefully one of them disagrees.
Yes.
If all of them unanimously agree, great. See, that's what we do in hiring for R&D in my company. So we have a panel of fellows who are the decision-making authorities. We hire somebody only when everybody agrees. Right? We have 3 guys right now, but it may become 5 also sooner. But so all the 3 fellows should agree, say yes, then we hire this person. If one person says no, we won't hire that person. Just to be you have to have different views about the subject, right? So we have this mechanism. Yeah, I think I answered your question. Did I?
So you have explained very beautifully, and I think it's a kind of pleasure or privilege we got today to hear all those things from you. You have actually explained very beautifully, and I'm sure that you have explained in a different way. When I was listening to you, I was actually finding that when you are explaining very interesting. So my next question to you is, how is machine learning related to artificial intelligence, and what are the types of machine learning? And one question more, what is deep learning and how it is different from them?
Yeah, sure. So this is a standard question every newbie has. See, I'll give you 3 sentences. Okay, and then I'll explain that. AI is our goal, right? So we want to create systems and applications and probably bots and whatnot, which are artificially intelligent. So AI is our goal. Let's keep it that way. And data science is the path to reaching that goal. I'll explain. Just allow me to finish it. Data science is the path to reach that goal. And machine learning is the toolkit that you carry. Right? Deep learning is one special tool in that toolkit. Just remember this connotation. I'll explain now. See, artificial intelligence is about, making something artificially intelligent. That's all. So if something is naturally not so intelligent, if you extraneously feed that ability for that so-called thing to take decisions on its own in a constrained environment or in a controlled fashion, we can call it has become artificially intelligent in that contained space or in that controlled environment. We can argue that. Say, for instance, people say your washing machine is intelligent, your microwave oven is intelligent, your air conditioner is intelligent. But are they universally intelligent? No. They are intelligent in what they do. An air conditioner is supposed to keep the temperature at check. The washing machine is supposed to ensure the clothes are washed properly using bare minimum water, bare minimum detergent, whatnot. And the oven is supposed to maintain the heat again and ensure whatever is put inside is cooked appropriately. Right? Those are specific targets, specific objectives. And how do you achieve that objective? There are multiple ways of doing it. You have a procedural way of doing it, and you can also do it smartly. I use this example often when I talk about machine learning and all. Let's say you don't know how to make a soup. Let's take an easy example. Let's say you buy a packet of ready-made soup, the powder, and ready-made soup is supposed to be cooked for 2 minutes, 3 minutes in a bowl of water, and you are done with it. That's all. It's a simplest procedure. But still, the soup that comes out of that exercise need not be perfect, because the only thing that is varying is the amount of salt and the quantity of water, of course. The length of cooking is the same, is about approximately 2 minutes, but how much water you add and how much salt you add, that is going to decide the taste of the soup that comes out of this exercise, right? When you are making soup for the first time, you strictly follow the instructions given at the back of that cover, right? You just strictly follow that. And when you strictly follow it, you'll probably achieve some reasonable taste. But when you try next time, do you follow the procedure accurately as per the instruction? No, you won't. You wanted to try variations of it. Let's say you have never gone to the kitchen. I'm just making it up. So your first time you are trying to cook something, which is a soup, apparently, and the number of times you cook soup from the standard ready-made soup, the objective is that your experience is improving over time or over iterations, and the quality or the taste of the soup is also improving over time. Let's say 3 times. After 3 times, you would have become an expert. You will blindly do it. You know the proportions in muscle memory, right? So can I say you have become intelligent? Yes. In that particular problem setting, you have become intelligent. You have found out the best proportions that will give you the best taste by mere repeating the exercise. So in the human world, we call it trial and error. So if you don't know something, and if you're learning it by yourself, what you do, you try, you fail, you learn from the mistakes, you retry, see if the number of failures have come down, and the due course, you will know how to find, or you know how to excel, right? That's called the trial and error basis. Exactly. In the entire world of machine learning and artificial intelligence, we always do trial and error only. Okay. So at the end of trial and error, you would have figured out the best procedure, the best proportions, everything you would have figured out. The process you would have thoroughly understood. So at that point, you have become intelligent about that particular problem statement. Right? So this is the idea. But one person may take 3 iterations to become an expert in making soup. The other person might take 30 iterations to become an expert in soup. What is the difference between them? They are doing the same thing. They both of them are doing trial and error. But one takes 3 iterations, the other one takes 30 iterations. It means they are not observing what they are supposed to observe. Right? So there are parameters of the experiment which you need to consciously pay attention to. And if you pay attention to the details, then you can quickly optimize the process. Right? The techniques for doing things smartly, these are the techniques you learn in machine learning. That's why I said it's a toolkit. Right? So your goal is to make something intelligent. Your goal is to make something intelligent. But how do you make it intelligent? You cannot sit down and aim for everything to become intelligent, right? So machine learning gives you the mathematical foundations, the scientific and statistical foundations about data, about how do you understand data, how do you visualize problems and solutions, and it also gives you the mathematical tools to ensure that you can get to the destination faster. So that's why it is the toolkit that you carry when you tread the path. And data science is just a program. It's like a degree program, let's put it that way. It's like a program where you are taught, or where you are trained on different aspects or different tools and techniques and theory of how to achieve artificial intelligence as your target. So data science is the path to AI. Right? So data science is not a skill by itself. I won't call that as a skill. It is like, if you are let's say if you are an electrical engineer, do you call electrical engineering as your skill?
Correct.
You don't. It's a program. It's a discipline of study. Correct. So that is a broad area of what you are qualified or what you are educated, right? So data science is like that. If someone says, my skill is data science, then I just look at them, which means they have not understood what they are. That's what it means, right? So data science is a program.
Okay.
It is like a program, right? It is like a study program, a degree program. See, many of the universities today have made data science as a BTech program. It used to be at least in MTech. Now they have actually made BTech programs on data science. I don't know what they study there. But one caveat I'll tell you, data science as a path to intelligence is not meaningful when there is no domain associated with it. Problem domain, right? Whether it is automobile engineering or whether it is mechanical engineering, structural engineering, biomedical engineering, healthcare, manufacturing, some domain has to be there. Only then you can use those tools and you can set a target. So just doing a BTech program on data science does not ring a bell to me. See, IIT like institutions, they have done something very clever. What they did, they offered data science programs as an integrated programs. Like it's a BTech, MTech dual degree program. So somebody will do a BTech program on electrical and their master's program on data science. So that's kind of a beautiful combination, because these guys are data science practitioners in the electrical engineering domain. Likewise, they offered it for all the fundamental degree programs, mechanical, civil, structural, applied mechanics, everywhere. That is a beautiful composition. But data science is a BTech program, I don't know. I mean, I could not understand it. So the difference is the thing. And deep learning as a word is a specific tool. Let's say if you have a Swiss knife in your toolkit, which can solve many of your problems, right? They call it the Swiss Army knife or Swiss Army toolkit, like one tool which will have several tools in it. Deep learning is like that. It's a special tool inside the machine learning toolkit or the toolbox, with which you can pull a lot of magic. So deep learning and machine learning, if somebody says they're different, it only tells that they have not understood it. So deep learning is a special case, or is a special tool under machine learning toolkit. And machine learning toolkit is the bag that you carry on the path to your destination. The path is called data science and your destination is called the AI, right? So that should help you understand it better, I guess.
Indeed, sir. This answer was insightful on many levels, and I'm sure there's a lot more to learn from you. But today, I don't want to take too much of your time. So, moving to my last question of this session. Actually, I've got this question from one of my subscriber. Question is: Our Union IT Minister, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, always keeps saying India has potential to become global data refinery center. According to Mr. Prasad, data would drive the digital economy and international commerce, and that it offered a great opportunity for India to emerge as a data economy supported by innovation and data refining. In data economy, the raw material is data, and India produces humongous amount of data because of its population in its digital ecosystem. So, what are your views on this?
I don't fully agree to that. See, I've been practicing data, or I've been practicing applied artificial intelligence for the past 22 years right now, right? And if India becomes a refinery, I would hate it. Because see, yeah, we agree that India generates a lot of data. What data do we generate? Social media. We generate tons and tons of data in social media, right? That is the only data we create or we generate, or probably in e-commerce, right? E-commerce, we might generate some data, but majority of the data that Indians generate is social media.
Social media.
Who's the beneficiary of it? Is there any practical use, any innovative, any inventions that are possible from social media data? No. See, what I would be happy about is if India becomes the AI hub for the world, for which we have all the raw materials here. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of, innovative people, people with innovative ideas. So the talent is there, need is there, data is also there, right? And the only problem is investments. If you start an AI company in India, you don't find a lot of interesting investments, right? People don't really put a lot of money on Indian companies. But if you found the same company in US or in Europe, and if you have the ability to convince investors, you get investments. But the same thing in India does not really fly very high, because people don't really believe that Indian companies can do AI. That is kind of a stigma around it. But I am of the opinion, and I can give evidence also, that Indians have all the raw materials to create top-notch AI solutions. And if you look at all the AI labs in the world, or all the AI companies in the world, at least 20 to 30% of their workforce are originally from India. Right? These guys go outside the country. Why? Because they are not finding employers here. Right? They're not finding companies to work for. So if the government wants to set up India as the AI hub for the world, then all these fellows will fly back. They will come back to India and start working here. See, myself, I told myself that I will never work in a different country. I could have worked in any country of my choice, but I said, okay, I'm born here, and I will live here, and I will die here.
That's great.
Right? Although my company is an US company, the co-founders of our company are all Indians, right? All the three co-founders are Indians, but we founded the company in the US for various reasons, because that is where we have the clientele, and that is where we get the investment. All this for practical reasons. But research, development, anything that matters, all of it happens in India, in Chennai and around Chennai and Madurai actually, right? We do everything in India, and we have employed over 400 people in India for building AI products, right? And the company has an R&D unit of 50 people right now. So I can proudly say that I can say it with pride that we are one of the biggest R&D units in India.
That's
doing
really
AI research, I would say. Right? We are a 400 people company. Of that, 50 people are doing research. Just look at the proportions.
yes.
Look at the proportions. So we are one of the largest R&D units in India. I can say it with pride. Right? So that took us 8 years. Right? We built this team. It took me 8 years to create a team of 50 plus people, 50 plus researchers. And most of them joined the company as fresher, and they picked up everything after joining the company. Now I have seasoned researchers in my team, right? So there should be a lot of Indians who should be willing to invest their time and energy in India to create units like that in India. Then I will be very happy. See, if we become a refinery, who's the beneficiary? Somebody else sitting in the US or somebody sitting in the Europe. Why? Why? See, let us be the AI hub. India should become the place where AI products are manufactured, AI technology is manufactured, and we have all the necessary things to build that. So why not? And we have decided we will build it. So in Buddy AI, we will build a lot of top-notch AI products from India with Indians. I mean, using Indians, I would say. Right? So the technology should be built here. Refinery is a side effect.
Correct.
If you are building AI products, Refinery will automatically come along.
Yes.
So we do a lot of data cleansing. We do a lot of data curation. We process millions and millions of data points every month. We are already a refinery. But I won't be proud in saying I'm a refinery only. I am very proud in saying I am a product. I am a product building company, AI product building company, using Indian workforce. The products are built in India, using Indian intelligence. That is what I will be very proud of. Right? I think the statement should be slightly changed, saying, India should probably become the AI hub.
Yeah,
So I'll
exactly.
tell you, IIT Madras has an unit called, an explicit unit called Robert Bosch Center for Data Science and AI, headed by Professor Ravindran. He's an AI god, I would say. Right? He's one of the most popular AI scientists in the world. And you know what he said? He's a Chennai guy, right? He's a Tamil, and he was given an offer to set up different units from different IITs. Right? He was given offer from some top fellows that, okay, if you move to IIT Bombay or if you move to IIT Delhi, we will allow you to set up a beautiful, a very, very strong lab for you. What he said, which made me, love him like anything. He said, I am not moving out of Chennai. If you want my help, you come to Chennai. Right? That's what he said. And finally it happened. So Robert Bosch, about 3 years back, so 3 or 4 years back maybe, they invested over $1 million inside IIT to set up a dedicated center for doing research on data science and AI. Think about it. So we need people like Ravindran,
Correct.
right, to pull things back to India. Right? There is a saying in Tamil, man. I'm sorry. Right? என்ன இல்லை இந்த திருநாட்டில் எதற்கு கையேந்த வேண்டும் வெளிநாட்டில். I mean, this is a phrase. I'll translate it for you. It says, what is not there in this country? Why should I beg it elsewhere?
Correct.
Right? So Professor Ravindran is of that opinion, and I am also of that opinion, and I hope people who see it pick that thread and should also take that opinion and try to set up things in India to retain the resources in India. And I'm envisioning that people from other countries should come to India for doing AI research. That is what I envision. In my lifetime, I will achieve it.
Sure, sir.
We will create a hub. We want to become one of the best AI units in India, if not the world. So when we become sizable, right, we will be attractive enough to pull in foreigners from any country to come and do research in India. They want to immigrate to India. It's called the reverse immigration, they say.
Correct.
That should happen in my lifetime. That is one of my bucket list items.
Indeed,
Let's
sir.
see. Let's see.
Indeed, sir, my best wishes to you, and I'm very proud of you. Actually, we have the people like you in our country, and that's why I think we are keep moving. Sir, actually, I have asked this question from multiple people. Sir, to be very honest, I have never got this much satisfactory answer, and you have told actually the problem that we produce that humongous amount of data, but we produce data in only social media and e-commerce, and that's is the exactly problem. And sir, I must say it was a kind of healthy conversation with you over the topic. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and giving your important time. We look forward to conduct more sessions with you in future. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you also, Harsh. Thank you.
Same here, sir. Thank you so much.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside.